Coming up, Epcot as a park, is it overrated or is it underrated? We are going to come up with a list of all of the things maybe that you have prioritized on your list that you can actually skip, and things that may not even be on your radar that you need to add. And at least one point, we're going to agree to disagree. As of now, I cannot agree that this is an underrated show, but I will bow out 2-1.
Just be prepared that it's unique.
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I, of course, your host, Allie, am here today with Katie and Becki, and we're talking about Epcot, a place that I drag all of my friends to every single time we're together, every single day that we are together. So, of course, I cannot wait to talk about it here today. But before we do, how are y'all this morning? It is early. We should let everybody know as we record this. It's summer, but it is early.
Yes, and I got up and took a shower so that I'm not asleep while we're recording. We're here so early, and I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, this is going to be good. I'm going to take a shower after we're done recording. I should have taken Becky's strategy of doing it beforehand.
Sean literally was
Yeah.
like, you showered before the sun is up? Like, is everything okay? I am like a take a shower at noon after I've gotten all of my morning stuff done person.
But you're in a really good mood today, so I feel like you might start to change that philosophy. You're like, oh, not that you're not always in a good mood, because you kind of are, but like you're up and bright-eyed, much more so than Katie and I right now.
You have your coffee.
Well, I have a coffee. I swear I'm getting like arthritis in my elbow because I hold a coffee so often. Like my elbow is bent and holding a coffee, and then like my other hand is bent and holding my phone at all times in my life. Well, I work a lot, during the day, but then I go to work for my dance studio at night, and I have to be awake and functioning until 9:30 at night. So I'm an all-day coffee drinker.
I have to be mindful of my elbows just because being a flautist in college, you're like constantly like this. And so my shoulders and elbows have had that toll too. So this is going to sound so funny. I sleep at night with several pillows, but I have to sleep hugging a pillow between my arms and my elbows to remind myself not to like overstretch my shoulders.
Our conversation is getting older. We're talking about her.
This is 40, except Katie's not 40.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
only 35.
Oh, neither
Yeah.
of you are 40 yet. I'm the lone 40-year-old in this,
Yeah,
in this
I'm not that far.
conversation.
We have been trying to, we're still in dance. Like as we're recording this, our schedule is still not quite free. We're not all the way on summer break. So we're still on a wonky, weird schedule. And we have a little bit more free time like during the day because the kids are either at camps or they're sleeping in. Because our kids are sleeper inners. Are your kids' summer schedule, does it include sleeping in? Because mine, on days where they don't have somewhere to be, they'll sleep till like 10 or later.
Yeah, my teenagers currently are like, stay up until 12, 1 a.m. and then sleep until 10 or 11 on they're on the first week of summer break, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll have to definitely get that in check when it comes July, August.
See, the problem for me is because our school is like, we have to wake up at 5:30 a.m. on a school day. Like sleeping in till 7:30 is sleeping in. And I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's brutal. It honestly is. But Zan and I have been kind of just trying to catch up on streaming some shows because we don't always get to do that during like the school year and the work year. It's just the work-life balance is really tough. So we're just catching up, and I have found that all of the shows we really love to watch are on Max.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we've spent our summer is streaming on Max. Where do you guys stream? What are you watching?
It's ridiculous how much we stream. In fact, I really do love a couple shows on Max, but something else that we've really drawn into is on Apple TV recently. I think we can let go of our Netflix account. We aren't watching much on Netflix right now, and I hate how much it costs every month if you're not using it. So the whole cutting the cord thing did not really save us anything. It's just we now have 20 different subscriptions that we are paying for.
Yes, we went through probably 6 months ago and we got rid of a ton of our streaming services. We were super mindful about it.
Yeah.
The only two that we kept were Disney Plus, and the kids pretty much just watch Bluey on it.
Yeah, my kids still love it.
Yes, we keep Disney Plus and we kept Paramount Plus so that we could watch Survivor. For those of you that don't know, Becki and Stacy and I are huge Survivor fans.
I feel like that's a misrepresentation because there is Becki and Stacy here, and then there's Katie like a mile up in the sky above us. You are a super fan of Survivor. I love it, but
I am.
you love it. Capital LOVE it.
I really
Yeah.
should audition one of these days.
Yeah. Do you think you could go far?
You know, I actually think I could. I think I could go far. I think I could win.
I think
Wow.
the likelihood of winning, you would have to believe you could go far, right? They're not going to put somebody on the show that would be like, I'm not going to make it past week one. You'd have to be willing to say you're going to go far. But you know what streaming that my kids cannot live without? Now I have teenagers, right? So I have a 15, 17, and an almost 19-year-old. Of all of the streaming platforms, what do you think they say that I can never cancel?
I have no idea. Disney Plus?
Well, they were sad when I took a break from Disney Plus about a year ago, but we're back to Disney Plus. Spotify. They
Oh,
cannot
yeah.
live without Spotify. In fact, when I look at their usage, when they're doing homework, they have music on. When they are in the car, they have music on. When they're sitting in their room, they have music on. McKenna is my super Swiftie. And what moved us to Spotify actually was about 4 or 5 years ago. I was on Amazon Music and paying for the family plan because Amazon was just kind of incorporated into our lives with our Echoes and whatever. When the ratings came out for like your end of year tops, your Spotify Wrapped list, I was so FOMO that everybody else was posting their Spotify Wrapped list that I was like, I think I'm going to change our streaming service over to Spotify. And now I look at it and I'm like, it's such a good social platform to be on. Like we build playlists together. And I have to tell you what I just came up with this last week about with my kids. I sent them a link to what we are calling the Smedley 2025 summer. And I had each of my kids add their must listen songs for right now, like what's just playing on repeat in their head. And it was so eye-opening to see what they added because all of them added at least one song from the 60s or 70s. And I would have never guessed that. Like McKenna added American Pie.
Yeah.
And Laker added a song by Frank Sinatra. And I'm just like, what an insight into my kids' world to just know what kind of music that they're interested in.
Yeah.
So I've decided I'm going to do this every season. So in the fall, I'll do another playlist of their 3 songs that's playing on repeat in their head to just get an insight in where they're emotionally and mentally right now.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. It is music is such an insight to where you are mentally. Like if your kids won't talk, you could seriously learn so much about where they are. Except mine, I think, are still just really young. So they're listening to just, what's popular right now. I don't, especially my younger two, but even my older one, she is like listening to what she dances to and listening to what she knows. But once she gets freedom to explore music, it's going to be really fun to figure out what she gravitates to. Right now, she's a super fan of the things we kind of are super fans of. Although she's discovering other popular artists on her own, which is really fun to watch.
I think that's what is unique about the music streaming platforms right now is like we grew up on TV, right? And we would find TV shows that we liked. Our kids don't watch TV. They watch streamers on YouTube. They watch Netflix. They watch these other things. I don't know. And it also kind of goes into the world of like when I was growing up, I was drawn to football and I fell in love with football because that was what was on TV. Like my dad was always watching football. And now they all have their devices and everybody doesn't have to watch the same thing anymore. And it's like this almost like this divide in households that there isn't everybody sit down and watch TGIF every Friday night kind of thing anymore.
I know, but that makes me sad. I love TGIF.
Me too. Back to the whole, how many times can we bring up Full House and the scene?
I know. And yeah, and Snick, I love Snick. It makes me though, like when you're saying all of this, it makes me think, okay, so my kids are not abnormal. Do I need to stop saying to them, can you stop watching that? Maybe just like watch a movie or a real show? Because I don't know, whatever you have on the TV right now, it's very odd to me. But that's what all of them are doing.
That's really funny. I would say that I'm a weirdo. I like Survivor is like the mainstream show that I watch, but I'm a YouTube fan through and through. I'd rather watch creators on YouTube than traditional TV most of the time.
Gosh, I mostly watch Max. I also really love to watch this. I love the behind the scenes Disney content on Disney Plus.
That's good.
Not to just plug Disney. That's seriously not my motivation here. I just genuinely love watching those, like the Epcot becoming thing or the behind the attraction. Those are just I love watching those series.
I wish there was more about Imagineers. the things that Imagineers do and come up with, it's just fascinating to me. There's a couple on there that are just like,
It is cool.
this is cool. How do I do this when I grow up?
Exactly, exactly. All right. I am excited to dig in here on Epcot. We're going to talk about what is overrated, what is underrated, and I won't spoil it, but one of these lists was a little bit difficult for me to make. Hey Smarties, did you know that just by listening to this ad, you can save on renting baby equipment from the #1 baby gear rental service across the US, Canada, and beyond? Of course, I'm talking about BabyQuip. When we're traveling, it is just life in a new place, but I don't have beds for my babies or even a high chair for them to eat in. And when we don't have our things, we do not have our rhythm, and it can make it really difficult to enjoy our vacation. Look no further than BabyQuip. With a wide range of baby and toddler equipment available, including cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, and more. BabyQuip helps give us some of that normalcy our kiddos crave and the peace of mind we need. When they are happy, we are happy. All products follow strict cleanliness and safety protocols, and they are there to ensure that you can really enjoy your vacation. Whether at a home, a hotel, a vacation rental, or whatever you're calling home for your vacation, you never have to worry. If you need it, they have it. BabyQuip is available in over 1,500 cities, making it accessible. So whether you're going to Disney World or Disneyland or some other travel destination, BabyQuip will have you covered. They have an easy-to-use online platform for quick reservations and easy customer support. So head to babyquip.com and use the code SMPOD, that's SMPOD, you can save $30 off of any order of $150 or more. That's SMPOD at babyquip.com. Pack light, travel happy. All right. I hope everybody did not forget to listen to that, because you get a huge savings code when you are a smarty and you are booking rental baby and toddler gear from BabyQuip. So make sure you have that promo code SMPOD and that you understand the way that you can get your savings. All right. We are talking overrated, underrated. We joke all the time. We are not together all the time. You know, we as a podcast team get together once a year at minimum, if we're lucky, twice a year. Every time we're together now, Katie will make a comment and say, well, I'm on a trip with Allie, so I guess that means I'm going to Epcot every single day. And, you know, it's not something I had ever just thought about, but it definitely is true. And I can see this in myself. And I do drag everybody to Epcot all the time, although I don't think anybody's protesting.
No, we're not protesting.
Yeah, definitely not.
No, I think everybody feels very comfortable with the level at which we go to Epcot. And today we are continuing our over-under series. What is overrated? What is underrated? We all brought a list of about 3 things we think falls into the category. We'll talk about them and come up with the full list of what is overrated and what is underrated in this exceptional park. I had a little bit of trouble with one of these, and let's start with what is underrated at Epcot. Can we start there? Are we comfortable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I kind of, as I was thinking through my list, felt like a lot of things at Epcot are fairly rated.
Agreed. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Attractions that have a long line are fair to have a long line. Attractions that deserve a short line are fair to have a short line. So I think that was kind of hard for me, but I'm excited to hear what you all say. So Becki, you start us off here. Give us something underrated about Epcot.
Okay. Underrated. There's so many good things I could say about Epcot. But one of the things that stood out to me specifically that is unique to Epcot and not in other parks is the post-ride attraction activities that Epcot has. For instance, when you're getting off Spaceship Earth, when you're getting off Mission Space, there's a playground. When you're getting off Figment, there's activities to do. When you're getting out of shows in World Showcase, there's KidCot activities. Epcot just doesn't always put you into a store like some other rides other parks will do. This really gives you something for your kids to engage in. And I feel like not just what you're getting out to, but specifically the playgrounds that are at some of these places. Kids have such a great opportunity to get their wiggles out in Epcot for this reason.
Before we even discuss, because you're calling this post-ride activities, on my list, I have Epcot is underrated as a kid park.
Yeah, I completely agree with all that. And I'm so glad that you called out the places to go play. Whenever I was talking to Matt about this last night, he was like, first and foremost has to be that playground after Mission Space.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to go ahead and say I have this written down myself as it's underrated as a kid park because I think these conversations will overlap. Because when I put that down, the things I'm thinking, of course, were all the playgrounds, not just the post attraction playgrounds, but the ones that are just out and about. All of the characters, all of the Kit Kat stuff. There are a lot of rides without height requirements. And people that are saying, and I was going to save this one, but I'm glad that we're talking about it at the forefront because people that are saying, Epcot, we're skipping it, my kids won't like it, they'll be bored. That is just not, it's not true. It's never been, well, maybe it was true in the 90s. It's not been true anytime recently.
Yeah.
I do think, though, that there are a group of people who do think that Epcot is overrated. And I have to think about what it is that makes it overrated for them. And I think it's that they're trying to make it Magic Kingdom, or they're trying to make it something that it's not. Like, this park is so incredibly different than any other theme park, in my opinion, in that it's not necessarily based on exclusively roller coasters and rides or imagination and escaping. Like, it's about real world. It's about the real world things that culture brings together and
Mm-hmm.
the application of science and technology and advancement of those things. I just love it.
But also still in a fun, Disney is presenting this way. So your kids can relate in a way that makes it, your kids are engaged and it's great. And it is a kid park. And so I think underrated. Are we okay to call it kid park? Because that kind of encompasses everything we were all just
Yeah,
talking about.
I do think, though, that it's worth pointing out that those post-ride attractions don't have to be just about the kid. Kind of like Walt sitting on the bench and saying, like, where can I have fun with my kids? Other than the playgrounds,
Right.
the kids will be playing on the playgrounds, but in some of those
Mhm.
post-ride things, there's things to do as families that is not only about the kids. Like, you can have fun with your kids.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I feel really good about that one. Katie, talk to us about what's underrated at Epcot.
Okay. So I was giving this a lot of thought. I was putting myself, if I'm standing in Epcot, where do I want to be? What do I want to be feeling? And I was like, I feel like the most underrated section of Epcot as a park is the area that is now known as World Celebration. You're walking through the gates, you have Spaceship Earth. Situated behind Spaceship Earth is the new statue where Walt is, the Dreamer's statue, where you can sit with him and look like you're carrying on a conversation with Walt. I like to do that in my photos. But they play this music that is so inspiring and amazing. There's this whole area for you to go, just sort of sit and chill. I love World Celebration in general, just for the vibe.
I mean, that whole area took forever to kind of establish, and it is
Mhm.
really, really beautiful. What do you do when you hang out in that area, though? Like, what do you, if we're telling a Smartie, this is an underrated section of the park, and the reason is, I mean, it is beautiful. So is that what we're saying is not rated appropriately, is how beautiful it is?
I feel like it could be that. I feel like it could be how beautiful it is. But I feel like so often people think about Epcot and the only thing they think about is World Showcase. And there's this whole section at the front of the park that is incredible that people just sort of zoom on past to get to World Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, just stop and soak it in. I love spending time in World Celebration if it's the middle of the day. I love spending time there if it's the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much to enjoy in that area.
So maybe like non-World Showcase Epcot
Yeah, honestly.
is a little bit underrated. I could see that for sure because sometimes, especially when you're going to Disney, you're just thinking about the different things you can run and see. And it's like, okay, I'm going to Epcot, so I have to ride Frozen, I have to ride Soarin', and I have to ride Guardians. You know what I'm saying? And it's you're just focused on running to all of these locations and then thinking about snacking and eating around the world. And you can miss a lot of the peace and the beauty that Epcot kind of offers, which isn't necessarily true for a lot of Disney in general.
It's a chill park. You go there to chill.
Yes, and in this area, we have multiple playgrounds for kids, like we talked about. We have so many character interactions. Right when you're walking in that front gate, there's usually at least one, if not two or three characters for you to meet. You have that area over where the current Encanto show is going on in that area.
Mhm, mhm,
During the Festival of the Arts time, there are so many art booths in that area and the sidewalk chalk area. That's where the painting the wall happens.
mhm.
And then you go over towards the newer area with the Moana water walkthrough, which is such a different experience for kids to engage in. It's not a ride, but there's so much imagination and creativity coming through their experience of walking through those areas and just being curious.
Yeah, I agree. So I think we should call this non-World Showcase Epcot.
I feel good about that because I love visiting everything around there. I love hanging out on the land, hanging out in Seas with Nemo. My kids like to spend a lot of time in Mission Space. There's so much to enjoy in that front section of the park.
Yeah. All right. I like that a lot. Okay. We already talked about Kid Park, which was on my list. So which direction do I want to go? I'm not sure if you guys are going to agree with this, if you think this is appropriately rated or not. But I feel that one of the shining stars of Epcot is the fact that it has all the festivals. And we talk about that all the time. And I feel that my favorite festival is one that I discovered late because it's one that gets a little bit less attention and that people don't realize is probably, in my opinion, the most packed festival from theming to offerings, both food and entertainment. And that's going to be, of course, the Festival of the Arts. And I just think it's short. It's during a period of time where, to be honest, some people struggle to get to Disney. You know, it's a lower crowd time. School is just back in session after holiday breaks, and it's before spring break. So it's kind of in this in-between moment. And like I said, by far the shortest. I just think it's a little bit overlooked. And I don't think enough people realize what a special, special festival the Festival of the Arts is.
You do not have to sell me on this one. I completely agree. In fact, when I was talking about that area, that's what I went to because there's so much goodness from the Festival of the Arts in that way. But the live performers is the difference for me. And not just performers in like visual arts, but also like the creation side of it. Getting to see painters actually paint in live and sculpt live, see musicians perform, see actors do things. Like there's every piece of art coming to life in that 6 week. And it's so sad that it's only 6 weeks, but the production they put into that 6 weeks is over the top amazing and so worth getting there. And then add to that it's like the best weather of the year during that time.
Yeah.
Get me to Epcot in February, please.
I agree. Yeah, this is just an underrated festival. People do not realize what they're missing. Just you mentioning the weather. That goes into it. It's part of why this festival is so special. And you get to interact with this festival. You get to engage with this festival. And all of the festivals have some sort of live entertainment element. But I think this one being arts based and bringing in artists that are out there doing this for a living and getting that real treat while you're at Disney World is just, it's the best.
Yeah, I love Festival of the Arts too for all of the reasons that you guys have said. I didn't actually have it on my list. I actually said visiting Epcot during a non-festival time is a little underrated, but I feel like Festival of the Arts is also pretty underrated.
Yeah, I agree. So it gets to go on the list.
Heck yes, it does.
All right, great. All right, that gets us already at 3 on our underrated list. So Beck, do you have another one for us?
We were supposed to bring 3 and I brought 5 and I'm like, how do I limit down to what 3 I'm going to actually say? There's just so much greatness here. Okay, I think I'm going to go over to shopping at Epcot. Shopping at Epcot is so unique because they do have the traditional Disney, right? They have that store up at the front by Connections area that is a massive mega store of Disney. You can find all of the Disney things, the Loungeflies, the jewelry, the stuffed animals, all of the things. But shopping around World Showcase in particular just brings out a totally different version of shopping. Like it reminds me of our world travels in real life. When we go out and travel, when we went to France, when we went to Morocco, like going out to those pavilions and shopping feels so much more traditional travel. Like it takes you out of that you're in a theme park. It almost feels like you're experiencing another culture and their shopping and their what's important to their economy.
Serious question. Do you think people don't realize this? Like, is it underrated? Because this is something about Epcot I feel like I've always known. But I also realize that maybe what I've known is not normal. You know what I'm saying? Because like even growing up before Epcot was booming and amazing, and it was just getting its roots and establishing what it was going to be, that was the thing that would draw. Like my mom would say, "Oh, I can't wait to go to Epcot and buy something." You know, we have so many things in our house growing up that are authentic, World Showcase, authentic things from World Showcase representing each country that we bought them in. My brother has taken on that mentality, and he has those glass like sugar skull. Or what are they called? Are they called sugar skulls?
From Mexico. Hmm.
From the Mexico Pavilion. Yeah, he has like 3 of those in his house now because he knows we go to Epcot, that's what I'm doing. Is that not like people don't realize that?
When I think of Epcot and when I talk to people about Epcot, the number one thing that they talk about to me, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy and Frozen and Remy, I would say those are kind of the 3 ride things, is eating and drinking around the world. Nobody ever talks to me about where should I go shop? What store should I go check in? And there are unique stores in every one. And I honestly think most people just walk around World Showcase getting snacks and drinking drinks and riding a ride if it's there and overlook what else there is to do in the pavilions.
I agree with this 100%. I feel like people don't take enough time to thoroughly investigate each of the pavilions and see everything they have to offer. And I'll be honest, I'm not a person that goes shopping in Epcot, but taking the time to like that's part of the immersive experience, right? Like if you go in the China pavilion, they have this like massive store that is all of these things from that culture. So it's just every pavilion is so unique. And if you're skipping the shopping, then you're skipping a lot of what that culture is
And I
trying to
don't
tell you
even
too.
know that you have to buy the things.
Yeah.
Honestly, just window shopping in each of the pavilions. Like one of our things that our kids love doing is going and looking at what different candies and like what kind of treats are in the stores, not in the festival booths, like the outside kitchen things, but going in and seeing, like in the UK pavilion, they teach you about tea, what different types of tea there are, and then you can buy little sample packs. There's so much education in window shopping throughout World Showcase that I don't even think you have to buy anything. Just go in the stores and see what that culture is bringing to the table.
Yeah, I agree. Window shopping and World Showcase is definitely something we always do. Okay, yeah, we can put that on the list. I would be curious to hear if Smarties that are listening are learning something in that, or if they are in on the secret too, because I just feel like shopping in World Showcase is something I've always really valued. Are you looking to save on your transportation from your arrival to your destination when you travel to Orlando? Well, keep listening because we're going to save you some money. If you're planning your next trip to Disney, you've probably asked in some sort of online community, what's the best way to get from the airport to the resort? Well, let me help you out. MCO to Disney is the way to go. From the moment you book, they make things easy and stress-free. The day before your trip, you're going to get a personalized message with your driver's contact info, your travel details confirmed, and everything set up for you so that you can have a relaxing time and simply focus on the magic ahead. When you land, your driver is there waiting at baggage claim, holding a sign with your family name, ready to welcome you, just like the family that you are. Your vehicle will be spotless and your car seats already installed just how you requested them. And if you need a grocery stop, they've got you covered for no extra charge. But here's what makes them even more special. It's not just transportation. NCO to Disney knows it's the first moment of your vacation where your memories begin. So no crowded shuttles, no multiple stops, just you, your family, your time, and your ride straight into the magic. Start your Disney vacation the right way with peace of mind, comfort, and service designed to help you create unforgettable memories from the moment you land. Visit mco2disney.com. That's the number 2, mco2disney.com, and use code SMARTMOMS, one word, all caps, at checkout to save 10% on all transportation. Okay, Katie.
Okay, you can get to Epcot by monorail. You can get to Epcot by Skyliner. You can get to Epcot by bus, by boat, and if you're staying at a resort that's close enough, you can walk there. So I think the accessibility of modes of transportation is an underrated factor of Epcot. Where else can you experience literally every form of transportation to get to that park? I think Epcot is the only one.
Yeah.
I love this one. This is such a great observation because you're right. It is, I think it is accessible by the most forms of transportation. It definitely is. And that means that lots of different resorts can get to it in lots of different ways and lots of easy ways, including value resorts, moderate resorts, and deluxe resorts. walkability, boats, Skyliner, monorail. I mean, this park has it all. I'm in on this one. The accessibility of Epcot is absolutely underrated.
I completely agree. It's amazing in that way. And I actually think it's the perfect reason to have a park hopper, because if you are staying in the Disney bubble, you could get to Epcot pretty easily every night if you wanted to go hop into another park for the evening hours. It
Yeah,
is
plus
so
it's
good.
usually open. It's usually open pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
It's a party park. It's late. Oh, I like this one. And I like it because it really does feel underrated big time to me because, of course, I know all of the modes of transportation that can go to Epcot, but it wasn't even on my radar to say, oh, yeah, that really does have so many different ways to get there. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. That's why I make us go every single day when we're together because, it's just so easy no matter where we are.
Is that the reason? Is it the
That is why.
transportation? That has nothing to do with Guardians of the Galaxy at all.
No, champagne flights and Guardians have nothing to do with it. Okay, I have a little one. This one is just one of the attractions that I think is pretty underrated. I'm going to say that not enough people are going to Turtle Talk, and I think it's a bit underrated because I don't think people realize that your kids actually get to interact and that Crush is legit there and responding. I think I told the story that I got Crush to say "Who Day," which is like our football. That's our football saying because he asked where we were from and we said Ohio. And he said, how do people in Ohio say hi? And I yelled, Who Day? And he said, Who Day back. And
Oh,
that's
so
great.
that was just a really fun moment to get Crush to say that. There's never a wait. You could just walk in at any time and see this. If you decide you want to go, you can go. And you can probably have a seat. And it's quick and it's air conditioned. And your kids are going to have a great time, but you're probably going to have a great time too.
it's a good one.
I think-
and truly, like you're saying, whatever wait you're going to have is truly just waiting for the next show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
it's by any means like this hidden gem of a show, but I think if you're at Epcot with your kids, you should probably be going to it, and maybe not everybody is.
Nah, I disagree. I think that Crush is a hidden gem of a show. I actually do. Because it's hilarious. It's hilarious for the kids, it's hilarious for the parents, and there's so much to enjoy about it. It's like, why skip Crush? You're crazy.
Does it get to go on the list?
I think it does. I think that it's one in a location that I think people just overlook because you go on the Nemo ride and then you get off and then you see this beautiful aquarium and then you're like, okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
And so it's hidden inside of this aquarium building that's even just beyond Crush. There's other things to do in that aquarium building that are worth taking time to do.
I mean, I would 100% go to Turtle Talk over the Nemo ride any day.
I know this about you. It's okay. It's okay that you're wrong, Ellie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think Becki and I are gonna tag team on you on that one.
That's fine. You guys can go ride, and I'm going to go laugh with Crush because he's a hidden gem.
Yes, yes.
Becki and I will be in our pink shell singing in the big blue world.
In the big blue world. Yes. And you know what's crazy is I don't know how I learned that song. It had to have been from Disney World, right? That's where it's from. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
wasn't it from the Nemo musical that it was originally written, or was it for the ride? Like, which one was first?
I don't know, but I like it.
Whichever it is, when I get off that ride, it's like playing on repeat in my head for hours. It's such a good song.
Yeah, this is the best part of that ride is the song.
And her sitting on the glass talking to you.
Yeah. All right. I feel good about that. That was all of mine because we combined one of mine. So, I mean, I kind of have a throwaway one that I actually think I want to talk about. So, Beck, do you have one you want to share?
I do. This is one that I overlooked for way too long, in my opinion. And I think that it could easily fit in with one of the ones we've already talked about, but I'm going to call it out specifically. And that's the Play Disney app specifically to Epcot.
Oh.
There is a DuckTales World Showcase adventure, as well as the questions when you're standing in line for Soarin' is in the Play Disney app. But I'm specifically going to talk about the DuckTales World Showcase adventure because Sean and I did this without the kids, and we had so much fun going around World Showcase with a different lens and looking for these hidden gems. It's basically a digital scavenger hunt that you interact with, and then things happen that people around you are like, what just made that happen? And it was you on your app making something happen. And it's such this hidden thing that so many people just don't know about. In fact, the reason I found it in the first place was one time we were walking back to Remy and our kids saw Huey, Dewey, and Louie run across the top of the Ratatouille house. And they're like, why did that happen, Mom? Did you just see the DuckTales run across the thing? And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, I thought they were delirious, like seeing things. And no, it's in the app. We found it. It took us way too long to find it. And Sean and I had a blast doing it, even without our kids.
Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Like you do that and everybody in the ride queue can see it?
It's not in the ride queue. They're throughout World Showcase things. So, for instance, you know the little courtyard where the Remy Flower and Garden mosaic would be?
Mhm.
There's like a little courtyard right there that's kind of
Yeah.
tucked away. You're playing the
Mhm.
game on your app. You're interacting with your DuckTales storyteller on your app, and then it tells you where to look. And you look, and then it happens. And it's sometimes things come out of water, similar to the Pirates one in Magic Kingdom. And basically every single pavilion has something you're going to be engaging in, and it gives you another lens and another activity to draw you in to each of the pavilion, to not just grab something to eat, grab something to drink, and move on.
That is a great one. I have never done that. I had no idea. And I don't think that's going to be combined with anything at all. That's fantastic. I'm like dying to go to Epcot now again just to do that. And also another reason why this is a great kid park, by the way.
Yeah, I completely agree. Man, I'm like, am I going to Epcot today with my kids? Maybe that's our agenda today now. I don't know. Maybe. It really might be.
I will add a caveat that it does close down at a certain point in the night. I think it's 8 p.m. But Sean and I made it all the way around World Showcase. We got to Mexico where it finishes, and it hit a time, like we hit the button to activate what we're doing, and it didn't do it. And we're like, what the heck? And then we refreshed our app, and it said, the DuckTales adventure has ended for the day. Please return on another day, yada, yada. So you be aware that there are hours that this thing functions.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love that. I am dying to do that now. All right, Katie, I feel like our list is getting pretty good. Do you have any more you want to add, like any great ones?
Oh, listen, my list of underrated things in Epcot, I actually brought 15 to the party today. So
all right, well, pick your very best last one.
I'm going to have honorable mentions, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I debated for my last underrated one to like formally pitch if I should double down on a favorite that everyone knows Katie loves, or if I should recruit an ally that I know will support me in this endeavor. And I think I'm going with that option. Okay. So I'm going to formally pitch Luminous, the nighttime spectacular, with the fireworks, the water effects, the beams of color. There's just so much to love about this show. And I know that's an unpopular opinion from some other co-hosts, but it's truly a show that you should go and experience at least once. It is a beautiful show. And I love the storytelling. I love the music. I love pretty much everything about it. And, you know, maybe my favorite feature of the show is you can get a good view no matter where you are. And that's not true of every show in Disney.
So let me tell you why you just made it that we can't put this on the list. You said this is a show you have to at least see once. Yeah. And you know what? I agree. Because if you're at Disney World, you should see it. Any fireworks show is better than no show. But the reality is you should see it once.
No.
And then you're good.
No.
Coming off, would you ever say, Becki, would you ever say coming off of Fantasmic? You have to see it at least once. Would you ever say that?
No, but I don't think that's a fair representation.
I want to say, Allie, you have only seen it once, and those of us that have seen it multiple times have been like, this has really grown on me.
I think that
okay, so something that has to grow on you is not underrated.
But listen,
feels rated pretty fairly.
No, because Epcot is that same thing. Like people go to Epcot expecting Magic Kingdom, and so it's not what they expected. And so that's what the problem here is they watch Luminous and they expect Fantasmic, or they expect Happily Ever After, and that's just not what it is. In fact,
its biggest fan just said you should see it once and it has to grow on you. Does that sound like an underrated like fan?
No, Allie.
Is that not what just happened?
It's a very good show. It is a very good show. And
it's fine.
I would say,
is it as good?
No.
Is it as good as Harmonious?
Yeah.
I think it's different, but
oh my, you guys just
I think yes. I actually think it might be better than Harmonious was, because with Harmonious,
you had the techno tacos that were blocking your view.
Yep, the techno tacos, and if you wanted a good view through that portal, you had to be in 2 different places around World Showcase. The new show, you can see it from any vantage point around World
So
Showcase.
is the new show
Yeah.
better than Happily Ever After since you can't see the projections, from the backside of the castle?
I mean, in that way, yeah.
Oh my God.
We might be 2-on-1 in this situation because I'm like to the point where I'm like, I think I really might love this. Like it took a minute for me to connect to what it was. And again, back to what I was talking about earlier. This is not an imagination park. This is a real life application of cultures. And when they are lighting up the different areas of World Showcase,
Yeah, that's
and they
beautiful.
are, listen though, I was talking to McKenna last night and she literally said something from the show, not realizing she was saying something from the show. She said, Mom, in life, she's just in this really reflective moment because of unfortunate situations from the last weekend. She's like, Mom, the fact that I have the friends that I have in my life right now, like, what's the chances in this huge world that I'm in the same place at the same time with these friends? And oh my gosh, like I'm getting emotional thinking about it because that is
Yeah.
what the heart of that show is. Like, what is the chances that you get to be with your family in this moment, listening to this music, listening to these different cultures say things in different languages and get these massive fireworks when those cannon ones shoot towards the middle and it just,
Yes.
it's
Full body
amazing.
chills.
It's amazing. It's not Happily Ever After, but Disneyland is not Disney World. They have to be looked at differently.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
All right.
Thanks for bringing that back in for me, Becki.
We'll put it on there. And, my thing is, as of right now, as I'm sitting here, I saw it the one time Katie said, because this is her thing, and that was her recommendation, was to see it once. And I did, and I didn't care for it. I was deeply disappointed in it. I will try to put in some serious effort to see it again and to report back with any sort of evolutions I may have. I'm not the type that will be stubborn and just watch it from a stubborn point of view. But as of now, I cannot agree that this is an underrated show, but I will bow out 2-1 and lead the smarties to believe that maybe it potentially could be.
Just be prepared that it's unique.
It's unique.
And
Sure.
I'm so glad you brought it up because Epcot at night was my other one. And it's just like, you have to see Epcot at nighttime. It's amazing.
Yeah. Epcot at night is beautiful. Epcot at night is when you should be at Epcot.
Absolutely.
So, underrated, our list. Epcot is a kid park. Non-World Showcase parts of Epcot. Festival of the Arts. The authentic shopping. Accessibility. Turtle Talk. The Play Disney app. And Luminous. I feel like that's great. If I could just say this whole park is underrated, I would, because I truly believe it is the most underrated park. People just have the worst impression of what it actually is, and it's wonderful. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to Friend Like Me and get to know some other Smart Moms travel agents. We did those interviews with some Smart Moms agents. There are other cool people here in the agency working alongside us. You can follow them in your social media feed. Get a little bit more Disney magic in your daily scroll. And then we're going to talk about what's overrated on the other side. Friends, follow my friend Teresa Reyes on Instagram at Castle or Bust. I have that same mentality. For me, it does not get better than the castle, and it is Castle or Bust. And for Teresa, she is a mom of 3. She has traveled with her family from baby to adulthood, so she has seen it all. In her family, she has those with medical disabilities as well, and she can help craft the perfect vacation for all families with all ages and all needs. She loves Disney and cruising, so if you love those things, follow Teresa at Castle or Bust on Instagram. If you want real life inspiration in your feed every day, follow our friend Ashley at Disney Muggle Mom on Instagram. I have been following Ashley for years. Not only is she an awesome Smart Moms agent, but she just picked her family up and moved it from where I am, the Midwest, all the way to Florida, following her dreams. And she shares mom tips, sun life, and travel. She's traveling the world at this point, and if you want to live vicariously through some real life experiences literally all over the planet, you've got to give Ashley a follow at Disney Muggle Mom on Instagram. All right, we hope you gave them a follow. I mentioned this a lot, but I don't know that everybody that's listening has done it yet. Leaving us a review. Recently, we had a review from Sunny D577. She said, Dear Smart Moms, I just started listening to your podcast and it's fun and informative. Thank you for the Split Stay podcast. You inspired and directed my next trip, and I appreciate that so much. Your relationships with one another shine through in the podcast and add to the joy you share. Magically, Sunny D577. That is such a kind review. I'm glad you love the split stay. We got so many different Smarties messaging us, actually changing their trips to split stays after they listened to that episode. So if you haven't listened yet, take a listen because it may inspire what you want to do next. And of course, leave us your own review. Maybe we'll read it here on the podcast. And it helps us out. So we appreciate the things you can do for us that are quick, easy, and free. Okay. Going to talk about what's overrated now. And I will start us off and I will say the fireworks show Luminous is overrated.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
No. Are we coming back to argue?
Do I have an X button like on
I
America's
just know
Got
these-
Talent?
I just know these. I know these people that think it's this groundbreaking, earth-shattering, emotional show, and I just think that it's an overrated representation.
You could not be more wrong, and here's why. Rewind approximately 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so I just had to get that one off my chest. Go ahead, Katie.
Oh, I'm going first. Okay.
No. I went first.
I have a good one. I
Okay.
have a good one. Katie, you want me to take one?
Yeah, do it.
Overrated. So there's this podcast that I listen to that has built up this remarkable boat ride
Wait,
to be like
Oh, no.
that podcast.
it's a really good podcast. Like everybody should listen to that podcast.
Oh my gosh, I'm dying.
I think we have to just clarify that
don't
we
know.
have potentially led some Smarties astray that maybe didn't understand where that originated. And I fear and feel that we have sent people onto the Grand Fiesta Boat Tour thinking they were about to ride something pretty epic.
The good news is if you didn't understand the sarcasm and the air quotes in our remarkable boat ride is that you got 5 minutes of air conditioning without waiting in a super long line. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right. I was totally just kidding, Katie. You can go now.
Well, I think it's hilarious. So we have the Grand Fiesta Boat Tour and Luminous, both as overrated items that aren't going to make our list, but are both factual and true as being overrated. Go ahead, Katie.
Okay. So for the first actual thing that's overrated, I think that it's actually, if I could say all of the food in the Italy pavilion, I think it's overrated. There are several different places to eat here, and there's also usually festival offerings in this pavilion. But if you want good, like the best Italian food on property, I would actually send you out the back gate and I would send you to Trattoria Al Forno. If you want the best pizza window on property, I would also send you out the back to the boardwalk one. The food in the Italian pavilion just doesn't hit the mark for me.
Okay. I cannot agree more on the pasta. I think Tuccio, that's the name of the sit-down pasta restaurant there. I actually think that restaurant's kind of bad. The pasta dishes aren't really authentic. They're not very good. They're heavy and bulky on a hot day. Not great. Like I think I said here on the podcast before, we walked in with a party of like 25 in the middle of the day and got a table. It's not,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's not great. And we were desperate and hungry and hot. And I was like, well, let's just see what they can do, split us up. And literally the restaurant was empty and we sat together. But I don't know if I can get on board with all food because I actually think the wood fire pizza at Via Napoli is really good. I really love wood fire pizza. Like wood fire pizza is its own flavor.
It's
You do
very
have to
bready. It's very bready.
That is like kind of the wood fire way though. Like it's a thin
No,
fire dough.
it is this thick. You guys can't see, but the crust is like literally an inch thick. It is gross.
I like the pizza. I can get on board with the pasta in Italy is extraordinarily overrated, but I can't get on board with all food because I like that pizza. That's my favorite pizza on property.
Interesting. I personally like the Boardwalk Pizza Window as the best pizza. It's pretty stinking good.
But it's different. Like that, to me, that pizza window is like a New York
Americanized
style.
pizza. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a New York
true.
style pizza. Whereas I don't think you
we
can
are
compare
talking
them.
about two different pizzas. There is no way we are talking about the same pizza. Because Allie, you keep saying about a thin crust, and I'm like, no. The one I'm talking about is like the window in the back of Italy. The crust is very thick. It's like eating on a loaf of bread.
No, I'm talking about, you're right, we are talking about different pizzas. I'm not talking about the pizza window in Italy. I'm talking about Via Napoli.
Okay.
Via Napoli is the sit-down restaurant that has a window. I've never been to the window, but that's
Yeah.
not what it is. They have a pizza window, but the actual experience is the sit-down restaurant where you order a wood fire pizza and they bring a wood fire pizza to your table.
Okay. I have never eaten inside of Via
It's huge.
Napoli.
It's huge and beautiful, and we do it almost every time.
I have gone to the walk-up window for Via Napoli for the pizza, and I have been unimpressed.
Okay, I've never gotten the pizza from the walk-up window at Via Napoli, but if you have a reservation to sit, it's a really pretty restaurant. It's really big and open. The wood fire ovens are really impressive, and I think the pizza's tasty. I like it. But I can agree with you that in general, like the pasta dishes are extremely overrated. But I don't think it's fair to compare the pizza. Like you can compare the pasta at Tutto to the pasta at Trattoria, and it's no contest. But you cannot compare the pizza at Via Napoli to the pizza at Boardwalk because I think you're like as Becki said, it's like an Americanized version versus a wood fire version, and those are two very different tastes of pizza. And if you like like a wood
But
fire, you're gonna
I
like
think the one on Boardwalk is a wood-fired pizza though too. Like it goes in a pizza
It
oven.
it might be, but I'm less about the way that it's baked and more about the type of pizza. Kind of like Chicago deep dish is very different from New York style compared to like
Mm.
international pizza is not my jam. We've traveled extensively internationally and we always try pizza where we go. And specifically, we haven't been to Italy, but pizza in France was not my jam. Oh my gosh. And so that might be the difference there is maybe the pizza you had was more of an Italian inspired pizza where you can go and get a pepperoni
Mm.
pizza at the walk-up window in at the boardwalk that feels a little more Americanized to me.
but let me be clear. Italian pizza is pizza. We just call that pizza.
True.
Okay, so where are we landing? Where are we
I
landing?
I think we have to narrow it if we're going to include it because I can't say all food because tiramisu lives in the Italy pavilion and heck to the
Mhm.
yes, am I having that? Oh my gosh.
I think pasta dishes in Italy are completely overrated. Don't do it. Can we land
I'll
there?
get on board with it. Go ahead.
Great. All right. Well, we need to have a sit down meal at Via Napoli together. I can't believe you've never sat in that restaurant. It's always busy. It always has, like, even if you have a reservation, like, you're still going to have a small wait when you arrive because everybody goes there.
We about had a mutiny when during our Epcot draft none of us drafted via Napoli. So
Yeah,
Mm.
let's add
it's
that
good.
to our next trip we're together. We need to go to Via Napoli together.
Yeah.
If
And
I
it
have
has,
to give up Trattoria al Forno for Via Napoli, I'm going to be very disappointed with all of you.
but you don't order pizza at Trattoria. We'd be going to Via for pizza.
We can do both.
I don't want to go to a sit-down restaurant for pizza.
You've just not had good pizza. That's what it is. Like, you've not had,
No,
like,
I have had tremendous pizza. Don't do that to me, Allie.
have you had pizza that you would sit down for?
Yeah, but not there.
All right. Well, we're going to have a great day where we sit down for pizza and I watch Luminous. All right.
Gives and takes. We appreciate it. Okay.
Okay.
Am I next? Oh, go
I
ahead.
have one. I'm going to go like a sister one to something I already did in Underrated. And I'm going to say that the Food and Wine Festival is a tad overrated. And here's why. Every single festival is special, like has special food, wine, alcohol, drink. Every festival has the booths of food and drinks. Food and Wine, I think, gets this really popular following because it's called Food and Wine and people love food and wine. But the reality is, you can get that at every festival. And the Food and Wine Festival is long and there's nothing else really super special going on in terms of the way the park is decorated or like I think all of the festivals come with special live entertainment. This one just doesn't strike me as it would be the least effort one almost, right? I just think it gets this huge cult following because of the name, but it is far from the best festival.
I also think because it was the first, I don't know, I don't know that for sure, but it feels like it was the first festival that Epcot introduced. And people just have reputations that they're like, I have to get to the Food and Wine Festival. And if you haven't experienced any other festivals, I feel like that's people's go-to, like, I need to
Mhm.
get to the Food and Wine Festival. But the reality is,
Don't
I think
don't
of
get
them, I think that it's the least impressive of the festivals.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Like I love it. Don't get me wrong, like food and wine, that's part of my like Alley starter pack, right? But I just think it's the least impressive of them, and it gets this huge boost of being, I think if you asked people, probably 8 out of 10 would say the best festival is food and wine. But then when you really step back and think about it, I don't think that that's true at all.
I'm on board.
Okay, great. That was easy.
Check.
Becki, let's hear yours.
Okay. Speaking of Full House, I will bring it up every chance I get. I'm going to say that the most overrated sit-down restaurant is the Coral Reef restaurant. The food is not my favorite. It is dark. It feels dated. I've eaten there 3 times, keep thinking that I'm missing something. And at this point, I've just come to the conclusion that it's there. It's an option. It's definitely not great.
Do you think people still value this restaurant enough to call it overrated? Because I book dining reservations for all of my clients. At this point, I think I've lost count, but I've got to have booked like upwards of 800 families to Disney, maybe more. And I book all of their dining. And out of every family I've ever booked, I think I've booked Coral Reef like twice.
I think that that's a fair conversation to have. And I'm okay not putting it on there, but I want to put the information out there that I don't think that if you're considering it, it's a cool idea that you're eating inside this restaurant that has a massive aquarium next to it, but it's not it.
Yeah, you should just go get quick service and then eat in the aquarium. And then it's like the same thing.
Yes.
This is another instance where it's like, instead of eating in the park, let's send you out the back entrance and send you to flying fish on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
How many times can we say boardwalk today? That might be.
Yeah, the boardwalk is underrated.
The boardwalk is underrated, yes.
But Katie's not wrong. Like, it does have the better pasta. It does have the better seafood. That is what is true. There is amazing food in Epcot, obviously, but those two kind of do miss the mark, and you would have a better experience. If that is the type of food you love and you're wanting it on your Epcot day, you're having a better experience over at the boardwalk. Okay. I agree with you that it's a gross restaurant, but I think most people agree with that.
Fair.
Okay. Katie?
I'll be honest with you. This is going to be a hot take, especially because it's about to come back.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
I believe that Test Track is overrated, and I have always believed that. I realize that people that love Epcot are like, Test Track is it. This is amazing. I love Test Track. Listen, I love a coaster. I'm a thrill junkie. Yes, I want to ride all the coasters. But there's 2 problems with at least old Test Track that I'm hoping are going to be corrected with new Test Track. The first problem I have with it is if you have a lightning lane or you use a DAS pass, you are still waiting an incredibly long time sometimes. And so I'm hoping they're correcting some queue issues there. The other problem I have with it, as someone who is a tall guest, this is a ride that I have had to really brace myself on not to bash my knees, because the whole first portion of the ride is sort of a dark ride and they're simulating an accident and you have to swerve right away. And I really have to brace for this one. So I believe Test Track as it was is overrated, but I am holding out hope that new Test Track is a whole lot better.
I'm on board with this. I actually agree that it's an overrated ride. I remember when Test Track opened and my family was so excited to ride it, and we got off and everybody was kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess it really depends on what people are loving about it, because if you're loving it as a thrill, it's really not. And they are so smart because they put the speed simulation, they put right above the queue. So you're like, wow, this is about to be the best ride ever. Like, look how fast it goes.
Yeah.
But in all reality, that's it. You're seeing it. You know what I mean? That's all of it. And the rest is just creating your car is a fun element. But my daughter was so disappointed when we created our car and then it pulled up and she almost wouldn't get in. She was like, Mom, that's not our car. That's not our car. Because we had made this like big spiked out pink Jeep, and then and then the Test Track car, she like was not letting me put her in the car. She's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. And I was like, no, and trying to explain it to her, which was cute. And then there is like a competition element to it, and that is kind of fun. So there are things about it that are fun, but I do not think that it is the thrill everybody says.
I agree. When I compare it to what they made with basically the exact same ride in Radiator Springs Racers in California Adventure, it's just, it could be so much more than it is. And I'm hopeful for what it's coming back as, but I agree. I'm not over 6 feet. And my knees still have the same issue as well with the ride vehicles, but I think we're getting new ride vehicles, so I'm hopeful about that. And I honestly think it's worth riding, especially if you have lightning lanes, but I wouldn't wait an hour plus to go on it as a ride.
No.
Yeah. And I don't want to come out of the ride to a pitch of here's why you should buy this vehicle.
Right. Yeah, it does feel really like an ad.
Yeah.
Like it's like
Yeah.
a massive ad. So I don't know. All right, I agree with you on that one. I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think it's fair.
Mhm.
All right, I'm curious what you all are going to think of this one. I think Epcot as a rope dropping park is really overrated. And the only time I think you should rope drop this park is if you're staying at the boardwalk and you're going to walk into Remy right away. Otherwise, I really feel like you can knock these rides out with lightning lanes. Maybe you have to wait in one queue. Like festival booths and quick service stuff, that doesn't even open until later in the morning. I think the best of this park comes alive in the afternoon and evening. I just don't think anybody needs to be getting there at 7:30 in the morning.
I don't have this on my list, but I specifically put Epcot at night in my underrated and thought about putting rope dropping Epcot on my overrated. So I'm on board.
If someone doesn't get to visit Disney World often, or if it's a first time visit, I probably would still encourage them to rope drop so that they can make the most of their day. You can utilize lightning lanes so that you're hitting all of the rides, but like as we've said, there's so much more to explore than just the rides, right? Like if you really want to take the time to thoroughly enjoy everything that Epcot has to offer and every pavilion and that whole front section of the park and meeting characters, and if you're going during a Epcot festival, those lines to get those drinks and snacks around World Showcase, you don't get a lightning lane for those ones. So, do I think it's overrated? I mean, yeah, maybe, but I also think that there's a time and place where you should.
I don't disagree that there's a time and place you should rope drop it, but Epcot is a long day. It is a massive park, and the reality is as much as you anticipate you want to be a rope drop to close the park family, very few people can actually do that. And if you're going to see either at the beginning where it's starting or at the end when it's closing, I think the more valuable time is when it's closing.
I think we would probably all agree. I mean, there are, of course, those exceptions for the once in a lifetime trip people, but I think we would all agree that the philosophy of rope drop to park close is an overrated park mentality. You know, that's a quick
Yeah.
burnout to exhaustion mentality. And so, yeah, we can say it's true of any of these parks. If you want to see and do everything, yeah, you're going to want to be there for all the hours it's open. But I think it's an overrated outlook to think you want to see and do everything. So if there's any park I think not rope dropping is worth it, it's probably this one.
I agree. And in your Disney vacation journey, if there's an opportunity to get a little bit of extra sleep, even if you're just going to the park at 10 instead of 9 or whatever, giving yourself that little bit of extra sleep is a game changer when you're at Disney for the hot weather, the long days, all of those things.
Yeah, it's just not true that you're going to ruin your Epcot day if you go at 10 versus 8. And it can make a big difference in your day. The day we rope dropped Remy, because we're not really rope droppers, but when I went with my dance studio, we rope dropped Remy because we were staying on the Skyliner and it was very easy. And I don't regret doing that because we all got a virtual queue for Guardians together. We really wanted to ride those two rides at the studio. So the strategy had to be that, you know, we had to rope drop it together. We were standing on that bridge between the UK and France waiting for the ropes to drop. We were there by 8, you know, on the dot, and we were already melting. And, you know, and we were there in the summer and we were standing on the bridge and our day hadn't even started. Then the ropes dropped and we still probably waited like 50 minutes for Remy. That's how hard it was to coordinate and rope drop, and we were there very early. And that was the day that we all ended up feeling really sick and just overwhelmed. And when we sat down at Tuto and had the bad pasta, if anything, like I'm so glad we did it because we got to ride together. But if anything, that was just case in point for the rope drop to park closed day that we tried to pound out there. Was it made it tough. There were a lot of things that went differently than they would have had we slept in that day.
And you probably could have gotten on Remy if you put Remy at the end of your day. You probably could have gotten on Remy in less than 20 minutes and not standing in the sun.
Yeah. I mean, riding Guardians all together, we had probably 30 of us in the queue at the same time, and we were just train after train of just us, and it was really fun.
Amazing.
Highlight of my Disney experiences. But yeah, that rope drop was really hard. And the biggest thing I remember was how sick and hot I already felt early. All right. It's on the list.
It is on the list. Is it my turn?
Yep.
All right. I have two more to talk about. One of them, one of them I may get hate for, so I'm going to hold off on that. But we're going to say that the friendship boats that take you from one side of World Showcase to the other side is overrated. I don't think that the line is ever going to be forever long, but you will have a line unless some sort of miraculous thing happens. But getting on that boat, the boat is slow, it is loud, it is humid. I honestly feel like I could walk it faster than I could get there by the boat.
Mm.
I don't do the boat for the speed.
Do you do it for the noisy motor?
I'm going to tell you right now that by the time I get to that friendship boat near Morocco, I've usually been walking in the heat for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've had at least more than one drink.
Okay. Okay, that's a lens I hadn't thought about.
And that boat is literally a lifesaver.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I got to get to Guardians, right? That just is part of my day. If I find myself in the back of World Showcase and I got to get to Guardians,
But you have to give
And I've
yourself
had-
at least a half an hour to get on that boat and get over to Guardians.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you're
I
doing
don't know.
so much walking. I was gonna say the first time that we did Epcot was before the friendship boats were back. And that day, it almost completely ruined Epcot for me. I was like, I don't think we're ever going back to Epcot again, you guys, because I'm pushing a double stroller and we have a single stroller. The kids are still fussy. Trying to do that whole loop to get around was no, forget it. I want the friendship boat.
I will allow you all to say that the friendship boat is worth having, but it is not the boat. It is like giving you relief to your feet that you're looking forward to, because the
Yes.
boat itself is not it. It's not a joyful boat ride that you're going to get to go
I
across.
actually like these boats.
Oh my
actually-
gosh, Allie.
It might be like the break that I'm actually liking, but it's manifesting in the boat itself.
Oh my gosh. I think something happens to me when I walk in the gates of Epcot, because steps don't matter to me at Epcot. Like my feet don't hurt. I could walk forever. And then as soon as I step out of the gates of Epcot, it's like, oh my gosh, my feet are
I wanna die.
exhausted. Yes.
I usually grab a slushie in France. I like the lemon one. And then I take it over to that little waiting area. You could take it on the, like, it's great. Are you kidding? It's
Mhm.
wonderful.
Okay.
I think fairly rated or even underrated.
No, not underrated. No. No,
Y-
not underrated.
Okay. Katie, what's your next one?
Okay, so I also have two that I really need to talk about, and I also think one is going to get me some hate, so I bet Becki and I are probably on the same page on that one. But I'm going to talk about the other one, and I think you guys might not even like this opinion, but I think drinking around the world is overrated. So many people have this
Can we
perception.
just mute Katie? Like mute.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Hear me out.
I
Hear
could
me
not
out. No,
disagree
no.
more.
Hear me out. So many people have this perception that all that Epcot is a park where adults go to drink and to get drunk around World Showcase. All right. So first of all, there's that. But secondly, like Matt and I were talking about this last night, and he's like, can you imagine, like, you're spending a lot of money on each drink and you're trying to get one around the whole entire World Showcase. So you're going to be spending a lot of money. You're going to be drinking a lot, and you're in the Florida heat. So on top of feeling like heat sick, you're probably going to feel like alcohol sick. He was like, I'm sweating just thinking about it.
No.
I think this just comes down to your ability to do this, right? Like I have done this many, many, many times. I've never been even really drunk, or like definitely never inebriated,
Wait
like
a minute.
never sick.
Pause. I mean, stopping at every single.
Yeah, you have to know how to do it,
Yeah.
right? So you are usually with people, you're splitting drinks, you're having a sip. Like I don't know that anybody could actually house a full drink from every. I don't recommend that. Like,
This is what I'm saying, though, right?
But I don't
So
think
some
that's-
people
but
have this idea.
I don't think that's what drinking around the world is. Like to me, that's never been what it is.
And I think most people just think they're going to get a drink in each country, not every outdoor kitchen. And yes, it's going to be expensive, but in reality, like going to a bar anywhere, you're going to walk out with a massive tab if you're going out specifically to go drinking. And if you take the strategy of not doing this in the middle of the heat of the day, I think it's
I
so
also
fun.
think you also just have to know like how to socially drink, right? Like you have to, if you're going there to do this, there's a way to safely and socially do it that it is fun
Mhm.
and that you don't lose control and that you don't become sick. And I think Epcot does get that reputation. I have been to Epcot 1,000 times, and honestly, like I can count on less than a hand the amount of times I've actually seen sick and inebriated adults. Like that's just not what's
Yeah.
happening
Mhm.
there.
Correct.
And I dislike that people think that because we drink and have a good time in Epcot. We talk about it on the show a lot. We
Mhm.
all have done that. And at the most, we've had fun.
It's a highlight of Sean and I's year.
Yeah,
We do a date for it every year,
absolutely.
and it is worth the
Yeah.
investment and so much fun if you know how to do it.
Yeah, I just think you have to be a smart adult. That's like anybody. It's like if you take your kids to Oga's, like you're not going to go get sloshed. You know what I mean? But you
Yeah,
could
I
go
mean,
have a
I don't
drink and
want
have
to
an
give
experience.
the I don't want to give the impression that there's like a lot of drunk people walking around Epcot or anything because there is that myth out there, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
I will say I just can't see doing it. Like I'll get a champagne flight in France, I'll get like a margarita in Mexico and we're good.
Yeah. But I almost think you could call that drinking around the world. Like if you had a sip of like that is,
Yeah,
you sample drinks from different pavilions. I think this really comes down to what does that actually mean to you? If it
right,
means
that's what I'm saying.
if it means you're actually housing an entire drink on your own from every single pavilion, yeah, that's probably not smart. But
There are
that's not
11 pavilions.
yeah, and that's probably not smart. But if you space it out and you socially sip and share and try throughout many, many hours of a day, that is a different activity. And that is what I
Yeah.
think is the correct activity. And that is not overrated. That is Disney at its best. That is the most fun. I love it.
I completely agree. I want to go do it right now, actually.
Me too. I know.
You gonna come meet me at Epcot while I take the kids to do the ducks?
Oh
What
my
if I go
gosh. I will do this while you guys are getting on the boats. Good
What if I
gracious.
just what if I just went downstairs with a bag packed and I was like, Zan, I just booked a flight. I'm going to Florida.
We're not in a festival right now though, so it would be very different kind of drinking around
It's
the
okay.
world. It's still
Yeah, it's all
doable.
That's
right.
fine.
Yeah, it's still fine. All right, I have one. This is not going to be a surprise. This is so clearly on the list. Figment
Yes.
is overrated.
Yes.
Yes.
That
That
is the
was
one
the
I
thing
was.
I said we're gonna get the hate for.
Yep, that's what I was
Ugh.
saying as well.
You guys, we have talked at length about this purple dinosaur dragon thing.
Oh gosh.
Just, I don't get the lore. I missed the cult following here. I missed the window where people just fell in love with him. And now we will wait 5 hours for a popcorn bucket. And we have this ride that everybody knows
Mhm.
is bad. Everybody knows that ride is
Mhm.
bad, but it gets to stay because it's Figment. This is just not, Figment is not it. I do not understand his connection to the park. Now he's the mascot for Festival of the Arts too, not just the park. And I cannot. This is not for me.
I am
I
less concerned about Figment than I am to Journey into Imagination. I don't love Figment, but I do love the idea of Figment being a figment of imagination and just that
I agree.
draw. But oh my gosh, that ride. Sean's like, it needs a rehaul. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're on like the second version of this ride. There was some pretty big hate years ago
Mhm.
when they did some changes to the ride.
I will say we can put Figment the ride on the list. Okay, because I agree with you that like the idea of a figment of your imagination is like a very special thing, but the is the dragon? The dragon, he's a
So
figment. He's a figment.
I don't
I kind
it's a
of
figment, yes.
yeah. Here's where I kind of flip flop a little bit. Is the ride spectacular? No. However, my little kids love the Figment ride and they love the Figment play area. Do I love it personally? I mean, no. But I actually think that Figment as a mascot is the more overrated thing. Like Matt was like, "Why are we waiting this long for a popcorn bucket?" He was like, "He didn't deserve a popcorn bucket." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of think so too."
I actually like the
Yeah.
popcorn bucket. It's pretty cute. I have the popcorn bucket, and I think that the popcorn bucket was cute. And I actually really loved the way that the popcorn bucket pulled people together. I also think that Figment tends to have a representation of a community that sometimes feels underrepresented, and I appreciate that connection that he has. And I just think
So now
it
we
could be
like
different.
Figment and he's a
I
unifying force.
I like the idea, not the dragon himself. Is he dragon? I don't. The Figment himself, and
I
and the
did
meet and greet. He
wait
was
a minute.
kind of creepy looking.
I was not aware that Figment like represents a community. I want to make that clear. I'm not trying to get hate on anything. I have no idea what you're talking
Okay,
about.
so I genuinely don't know where we stand. So we went from we don't understand this thing to we love this ride to he's a unifying force of community. And now I don't know if he gets to be on our list or not.
I think that we all came together with the same concept of Figment is overrated, but the way Figment is overrated, we all see it differently. So
fine, then I'll just put imagination is overrated.
Yeah, that's it.
All right,
I'm down for just saying Figment is overrated.
Figment
is overrated.
Figment, and then up for interpretation.
Yes.
Yep. There you go.
All right. I only have one more. Anybody else have any that they're dying to share?
That was my last one.
Katie?
Nope.
All right. My last overrated is school bread.
Oh, I almost put that. But is it overrated at this point? I don't know.
Yeah, look at Katie's face.
No, it's not. School bread is delicious.
I didn't know this about you, Katie.
I love school bread.
I just think that you guys, if we send Smarties to Epcot and all they get from our podcast is to eat school bread and ride the Grand Fiesta boat tour, then like they're going to have a really bad day. And so I think school bread has to go on the list because there are so many better snacks. And this one is always on the top lists and people talk about it. And I think it's a bit overrated.
Katie, what do you like about it? Really?
I like the texture. I like the filling. I like that it has coconut on it. I'm a big coconut fan, though. If you don't like coconut, you're not gonna.
I hate coconut,
bread, right?
Yeah, I really
coconut on bread.
Oh well, there you go.
Just seems odd.
Well, calling it bread is like not exactly accurate in my opinion. It's kind of like a donut, honestly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it just the texture wasn't it for me either. I don't know.
I like the school bread, but I mean, I'm willing to save the Smarties if you're saying that we don't want to send them that way. That's fine. If you're gonna go in Kringla Bakery, what you need to get is that Viking coffee, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. That's an eat this, not that. Okay, I feel good about our list. I think more than anything, I just always want to shine light that Epcot is this unique cultural experience of a park and it is not just the cliches of Disney, right? You think Disney and you think princesses, they are at Epcot, by the way. And you think Fab Five, they are at Epcot as well. And you think rides, and hey, they're also at Epcot. But when you think about, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and her polka dots and all of that, you're kind of getting that magic of Disney, but then you're getting this other layer of just special culture, learning, magic. It's all woven into what makes Epcot Epcot. And for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the hidden Mickey will be polka dots. I just want people to always know that they're going to get the magic and more at Epcot. And that's what's the best about this park. All right. So our official overrated list. Actually, let's go back and review the underrated. Then we'll talk about the overrated. So the official underrated list. This is what we're talking for Epcot. We have Epcot as a kid park is underrated. The non-World Showcase offerings of Epcot, including the new designs and places to just chill. The Festival of the Arts, the shopping, especially in World Showcase pavilions. The accessibility from all of the different resorts using different transportation. Turtle Talk with Crush. The Play Disney app experience, and Luminous, the fireworks show. Agree to disagree. Overrated, we are talking the pasta in Italy, 100% standby. The Food and Wine Festival, it's fun. It's not the best. Test Track, especially as a thrill ride. Rope dropping this park. Figment, in whatever figment form you want to look at it. And school bread as a top snack. I feel very good about that. I feel like if you use these lists as a guide to kind of narrow things down, what's okay to miss and what we have to do, you're going to have a good day overall.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for my honorable mentions, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, like we have an entire episode dedicated to character meet and greets in Epcot. And to lean into how kid-friendly this park is, there are so many character meet and greets here. There are almost like countless character meet and greets.
Yeah, that's definitely an underrated thing.
And you can even meet characters at Garden Grill, which is one of my favorites, and I feel is underrated, but probably don't have support on that from my co-hosts.
You do not. All right. I'm excited about this. I feel like it's good. I feel like we nailed it. And I am ready to do our lightning lane. Epcot favorites. We're going to go Becki to Katie. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, favorite snack in Epcot. Katie, you don't even have to answer. We know it's school bread.
It's not school bread though. I would take anything in Layall, basically. Like if I can have anything from the menu in Layall, I'll be happy.
That's the ice cream pastry type place in France, just so everybody knows. Becki?
I think that I have to say caramel popcorn, but I really am leaning today towards the pretzel bread pudding.
Okay. Favorite thrill in Epcot?
Okay, you're not going to consider it a thrill. It's a different kind of thrill, but I'm going to actually say Soarin' because it thrills my heart.
That was my answer too, and I do think that there is some thrilling pieces to it. That's literally what I was going to say.
I love Soarin'.
All right. Well, next time, Smarties, you're at Epcot, ride Soarin' and then ride Guardians of the Galaxy, and let's see which is the bigger thrill. Favorite show in Epcot?
I'm going to double down on Turtle Talk with Crush. I think that's the best show in Epcot.
Interesting. I think I want to say Luminous because I really do love it. I really, really do. But I don't know if I would consider it a show. It's like a nighttime spectacular. So I actually think that the shows that are inside of the pavilions, and we enjoy them pretty regularly. Going in and watching the China show, the Canada
Becki?
show. Oh no, I'm lying. I'm lying. It's the Eat to the Beat and the concerts. I'm lying.
I was going to say. You mean the live performers, don't you?
Live performers in the American
Becki,
Pavilion.
did you not draft Fantasmic in our Hollywood Studios draft?
Yeah, and I recognize I should have put that in wild
Did you
card at
draft
this
it
point.
in show?
Yeah, I know.
So Luminous is not a show, but Fantasmic is. Is that what we're getting?
We're calling it a nighttime spectacular. Quit bullying us.
But Fantasmic is not?
And Fantasmic?
I'm just curious.
Fantasmic is
I'm just
everything.
curious because neither of you said Luminous is your favorite show in Epcot in Lightning Lane. Like, I'm just saying. Like, it didn't even occur to you. And then you had to backtrack.
No, I did. It didn't occur to me.
But it's behind,
It did occur to me.
but Luminous is so good. It's behind Turtle Talk. And it's behind.
It's a different category. I'm calling it nighttime spectacular. Quit bullying me,
So-
Allie.
So, okay. But Fantasmic is a show, but Luminous is a nighttime spectacular. Got it.
Fantasmic is perfection. You can call it whatever you want. If
Listen,
Fantasmic
no,
is
no,
just
no.
everything.
This is unfair because that was a draft. This is something totally different. This is non-strategic.
This is
Well-
true. And I 100% back that the right answer is whatever live performance is happening in the American Pavilion is the best show.
Yeah.
But Turtle Talk is better than the amazing fireworks show Luminous. Got it. Okay.
Ugh.
Favorite pavilion in Epcot?
This is going to sound so basic, but for me, it's definitely France. That's where I spend most of my time.
I almost put France on my overrated list. I know I would have taken Heat, which is why I didn't.
I don't think there's
Actually,
a world in which you could have won that debate because it has one of the best rides. It has multiple restaurants, great desserts, great snacks, great drinks, great, like you can walk up into the pavilion, up on the streets and into shops. Like, in what world is that overrated?
everybody does it. That's what everyone
Because it's
thinks.
fairly
And
rated.
No, because then they overlook going into Morocco or Germany. Like you're not getting a ride, but they overlook
I
the
don't
other
think
ones
be-
because everyone goes to France. It's like every little girl decorates
No.
their room with the Eiffel Tower.
Can I say
Like,
something?
Of course you can.
You do not go in Morocco because you go in France. Okay, that is not true. But I almost put Mexico on my list as overrated. France, not by a mile, because it has literally everything you can want. Whereas Mexico doesn't have a great ride. The sit-down restaurant is just okay. And then there's no pavilion to really explore. Like you could go up into some of these. Whereas, you're just on that straight and narrow through Mexico and you have, the pyramid to your left and that's really it.
Yeah, I can see that. And I don't dislike France by any means. I just wish that other pavilions got more attention, that everybody goes France and Mexico. Like that's the talking points of World Showcase. And there's so
But
much
of
more
the two,
to it.
them, France is not the overrated one.
I'll agree to disagree.
So, sorry, what was your favorite pavilion there?
I would say probably Germany.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
it is. Favorite place to escape the crowds in Epcot?
I am gonna stand by that air-conditioned indoor playground that's at the end of Mission Space. This is where my family always escapes the crowds and the heat, and we go there every single time we go to Epcot.
For me, I'm going to give a shout out to Stacy and her command performance because while they need more shade back there, the back section of the UK pavilion is such a great place to escape crowds, and you can meet Winnie the Pooh back
Oh,
there.
God.
Allie, you can go meet Winnie the Pooh.
So your favorite place to escape the crowds is Stacy's band?
Well, no, just that area of the UK Pavilion, but Command Performance is back there, which is a really great addition that a lot of people overlook.
Okay. Your favorite thing about Epcot?
My favorite thing about Epcot is the feeling I have while I'm there that I have purpose. I walk into Epcot, and even before I get on an attraction or a ride, I'm immersed in the music and in this awe-inspiring theme that I have important purpose, that like after you go on the attractions and you learn about things, you're like, I have an impact in this world. I love the version of Katie that exists in Epcot because of the inspiration of it.
Ditto. Basically the same thing.
My answer is Guardians.
That was so eloquent.
The thing about Guardians, though, is I feel like Guardians could have fit in other places. Like, it didn't have to be in Epcot.
But I like that it is.
Yeah, it's a great one to be there. Shouldn't skip it.
I feel purpose and I feel alive
sure.
when I'm riding Guardians.
It does make you feel alive.
All right, we did it. I like it. Overrated, underrated. Go to Epcot. The whole park is underrated, in my opinion. What a great time you're going to have. And that's going to do it for us on another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. And until next time, we'll see you real soon.
Starting your day in Mexico.
I don't agree there, but mostly that's just because I want to get to France
Interesting.
later.
So France is the destination.
Yeah, France is my destination. And I need to time it right.
I would rather cut across, hit Canada, and go straight to
But
France.
what if you
There
got on the
go.
boat and just took the boat to France?
Never. I would never do that.
I have done
The
that.
one-way boat. The boat is good one way. I should have said that. in
The
show.
one-way boat.
Yeah, the
one-way
boat is
right?
good
And it has
Morocco.
to be after.
The boat is good Morocco to World Showcase entrance, not World Showcase entrance to Morocco.
Because you're skipping the UK Pavilion. You're skipping Canada.
Yeah.
That's fun, guys.
All right.
That
We
was
did it.
fun. More dead chipmunks.